Alright, listen up. If you've ever spent way too much time struggling with Procreate, swiping around like a lost child, we're about to make your life a whole lot easier. Today, we're dropping 10 Procreate hacks that'll make you faster, better, and possibly unstoppable. Okay, maybe not unstoppable, but definitely faster, and way less frustrated. Some of these you might already know, but I guarantee at least a couple will make you go, wait, you can do that? So grab your iPad, open Procreate, and let's go. Tip 1. Quick shape. You ever tried drawing a perfect circle and it comes out looking like a lumpy potato? Yeah, me too. Procreate has a fix for that. Step 1. Draw a shape. Doesn't matter, circle, square, whatever you want. Step 2. Hold your pencil down. Boom. Procreate snaps it into a clean version. Step 3. Tap one finger on the screen while holding your pencil to make it perfectly proportional. And guess what? It works for straight lines too. Draw a line, hold your pencil down, and it turns perfectly straight. Need an exact angle? Hold one finger on the screen to snap it into 15-degree increments. This is perfect for clean designs, comic borders, and making it look like you actually have steady hands. Tip 2. Alpha lock versus clipping mask versus layer mask. Layers are great, but if you don't use them properly, you might as well be drawing with crayons. Here's the breakdown. Alpha lock. Tap the layer and select alpha lock. Now you can only paint on existing pixels. This is great for recoloring. In this example, I'm using alpha lock to change the color of this popsicle. Clipping mask. Make a new layer above another one, tap it, and select clipping mask. Now whatever you paint only affects the layer below. In this example, I'm using a clipping mask to add some halftone patterns to the side plane of this popsicle. Layer mask. Need to erase without ruining your work? Add a mask to a layer and use a black brush to hide parts, but you can always bring them back with white. This is non-destructing and forgiving. I'm using a layer mask here to give the popsicle stick a less uniform shape. So which one should you use? Each of these tools has its own special purpose, and choosing the right one can make or break your workflow. Alpha lock is good for quick edits. Think of this like working directly on the surface of your layer. But careful, because once you paint something, there's no going back unless you hit undo. Clipping mask. This is for non-destructive coloring and blending. This is like putting a transparent film on your layer and only letting your strokes appear where there's already color. This is super handy for shading, highlights, and clean edits without altering the base layer. And layer masks are good for precision and reversibility. If you need ultimate control and want to hide parts of your drawing without actually erasing them, this is the way to go. Unlike alpha lock, you can always bring back hidden parts, making it ideal for refining shapes and making precise adjustments. Mastering these three will give you way more control on your work, helping you stay flexible and efficient. Because let's be real, nobody wants to redraw an entire section just because they went a little too wild with a highlight. Tip 3. Gesture shortcuts. If you're still manually pressing the undo button, you might need therapy. Use gestures instead. Undo. Tap 2 fingers on the screen. Redo. Tap 3 fingers. Cut, copy, and paste. Swipe 3 fingers up or down for a quick menu. And merge layers. Pinch your layers together. Once you memorize these, you'll work faster than ever. Plus, your thumb won't cramp up from constantly reaching for the undo button. Tip 4. Clone Tool. Ever wish you could just copy a pattern, texture, or detail without manually redrawing it? Use the Clone Tool. Go to Adjustments, and then Clone. Tap anywhere on your canvas to pick a source. Now, wherever you paint, it clones that section. This is gold for repeating textures, fixing small mistakes, or let's be honest, being lazy. You're welcome. Tip 5. The Liquify tool. You want to warp your drawing like it's in a fever dream? Use Liquify. Go to Adjustments, and then Liquify. Try twirling to create a swirling effect. Push to nudge pixels around like digital clay, and expand to stretch out details without distorting them too much. Need to shrink something? Pinch compresses areas. This is great for fine-tuning proportions. Reconstruct is your safety net. It helps reverse liquify effects without undoing everything else. And guys, this tool isn't just for making your art look like a microwaved action figure. It's super helpful for making small tweaks to your drawing, like adjusting facial features, fixing uneven proportions, or subtly refining shapes without having to redraw everything. Tip 6. Reference mode. Instead of struggling with split screen like you're some sort of caveman, try reference mode. Go to Actions, and then Canvas, and then Reference. Turn it on. Now you have a floating reference window that stays put, so you can zoom, rotate, and work without losing sight of your reference. This is an absolute game changer. There's no more flipping back and forth or dealing with a cramped workspace. You can even color pick from it without switching tabs, which means a faster workflow and fewer interruptions. Seriously, once you use it, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Tip 7. Color drop. Dragging and dropping color is easy, but sometimes it leaves a weird little gap between the color and your lines. This happens because of the color drop threshold, which controls how far the color spreads when filling the area. After dragging a color into an area, don't lift your pencil yet. Slide left or right to adjust the fill's threshold till it matches your line work perfectly. Too low? You'll get ugly edges and incomplete fills. Too high? Your color will bleed into areas it shouldn't. And here's a bonus tip. If your shape isn't filling out properly, it's probably because it has open pixels, tiny gaps in your line work that prevent Procreate from recognizing it as a closed shape. Zoom in and check for gaps in your outlines. Closing those gaps will save you a ton of frustration and make filling shapes effortless. Tip 8. Symmetry tools. Ever wanted to draw something perfectly mirrored, but it ended up like a wonky mess? Procreate has a built-in cheat code for that. Symmetry mode. First, go to Actions, and then Canvas, and then Drawing Guide. Turn it on and tap Edit Drawing Guide, then Symmetry, and choose Vertical, Horizontal, Quadrant, or Radial. Turn on Drawing Assist in your layer settings, and now everything you draw is perfectly mirrored. And here's another tip. For dynamic compositions, try turning Drawing Assist on and off mid-sketch to mix up structured and freehand elements. Tip 9. Time-Lapse Replay. Did you know Procreate records every stroke you make? Kinda creepy, but also cool. To watch your time-lapse, first go to Actions, and then Video, and then Time-Lapse Replay. Now you can watch your entire drawing unfold like magic. Tap Export Time-Lapse Video and share it anywhere. This is perfect for social media, showing off, or proving to your clients that, yeah, I actually did the work. Tip 10. Import a color palette from a photo. Picking colors can be painful, but Procreate has a shortcut. You want to use a color scheme from a cool image? Go to Palettes and then the plus icon, then New from Photo. Pick an image and Procreate automatically creates a color palette for you. Now, instead of spending an hour second guessing your colors, Procreate does it for you. Work smarter, not harder. Now that I've shared 10 Procreate hacks, I'll show you the time lapse of me creating the artworks that you saw in this video. Let's go. And that's it. 10 hacks to make you a Procreate wizard. If you learned at least one new thing, do us a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your favorite tip. Now, go forth, create some art, and stop struggling. Happy creating.